Welcome to the Chrysalis Temple, a sacred portal where the quantum meets the mystical. We awaken timelines, dissolve limits, and embody the frequency of your highest self. Welcome to the Chrysalis Temple podcast. This is your sacred space for deep cellular remembrance, alchemical transformation, and a coming back to your divine feminine power. So, welcome to another episode of the Chrysalis Temple podcast. And I am just, I think, in shock that it is already pretty much middle of December. We are fast approaching the winter solstice. So, the shortest day of the year and the longest night. And so, with that in mind, that we're in this season of collectively being in the season of slowing down, I want to focus on the art of slowing down, of slow living, in order to really rewire your nervous system, right? And why slowing down actually rewires your nervous system. So, living in tune with nature is something I think we have really truly forgotten in our collective, right? Because we're so right now we have been made to really be on and wired and connected 24/7, 365. Like, we're in right now, in the way society is, most of society is living, is this constant being on, constant going, doing. And that dysregulates us so much. I mean, look around you. How many people do you know that are really truly just so in that, that namaste kind of energy? Not many. Not many. Even a lot of spiritual people are a lot of times in this regulated craziness of being on, being wired, constantly going, being on this hamster wheel of going, doing. And so we've really become disconnected from just, living with the seasons. And we have these seasons for a reason, because life in general and everything flows and ebbs, right? There's moments of up, there's moments of down. And we're just being conditioned to constantly be on this up, right? Constantly go. Because if you don't go, if you don't slow down, if you don't take a moment to stop, what's going to happen? You're going to collapse. Or at least it seems like you're going to collapse. But even if you do collapse, there's magic and brilliance in that collapse. And this is what we have to come back to. Learning how to collapse, learning how to go within in this season of winter, in this season of darkness. That's why this season is here, for us to do that internal work, to slow down. And so the winter time is a perfect time to really just practice, at least start to practice that way of slow living, and see what happens if you practice this slow living. How do you feel your nervous system changing, rewiring? Is it slowing down, right? And we're coming, like I said, we're approaching the winter solstice, which is a wonderful, perfect time to be in the stillness, to reflect on how this year has been, on how maybe you want to, in the next year, be living in with the seasons and your own, as a woman as well, in your own seasons within the cycle, right? Remember, I had the episode on our cycles. Our cycles completely reflect our completely reflect the seasons, right? Each phase of the cycle reflects a season, and we need to be able to tune into that, to connect with that more, to really truly live that. Because, like I said, so many of us are just in this constant being wired of constantly go, 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 go without slowing down. And that disrupts our nervous system so much, that dysregulates us, that puts us into survival mode. And once you're in survival mode, once you're constantly being on and giving away your energy, your attention, well, your attention is your energy, is being redirected to something outside of yourself constantly, you're leaking your life force energy. And when you leak your life force energy, your energetic field, your internal energy is becoming more and more depleted. And when you're more and more depleted, you become drained. You're in survival. You don't have the capacity anymore to expand in order to receive, because you're constantly just giving it away. You don't stop for a moment to receive the beauty, to receive the energy, to contain your energy, right? And I think to an extent it's being done on purpose, of course, because imagine yourself now being in this expansive state where you are truly connected to your life force energy and you're not giving it away. That's power. Your life force energy is power. And once you are there, once you're now in the state of responding instead of reacting to every single outside stimuli, you are responding. You are in that Zen state. You are powerful. You are a force to be reckoned with. Nothing can take you down. But if you're constantly wired, if you're constantly on, if you're constantly just literally moving through life at such a pace that you don't have time to stop, think, connect, you're very easy to manipulate. You're very easy to control. And that's the whole point, I think. So, winter right now, that's why I'm making this episode, is because it's the perfect time to really practice that. We don't have that many things to do, right? It is the season of really truly slowing down, where most of us are spending more time indoors. It's not as much time of daylight. So take this season, take this time, take the winter solstice to reconnect with yourself, to reconnect with your energy, with your life force. See where you are. Take kind of inventory of where you are. Are you living from the space of slowness? Are you living, from presence, from being aware? Are you reacting to life, or are you responding to life? How does your nervous system feel? Do you feel soft? Do you feel receptive? Or do you feel constantly anxious, overwhelmed, burned out? Like, where are you? So take inventory, take this time to look at where you truly are in this season of your life. And if you're not in this softness, if this internal connection, maybe take the time to really connect with yourself once again, to slow down and see the beauty of every season, and see the beauty of slowing down and what it can do for you in your life, how that can actually impact your life in such a positive way, right? And so, like I've mentioned before, we're being conditioned, and the way we are living right now is just to constantly be giving away our attention more and more and more. And so much of it is, of course, connected to technology. I do believe technology has its place, and it's good because, I mean, hello, I'm right here in front of so much technology recording this video right now. It's great, it's useful, but we've become very much addicted to our little devices, and we're constantly on, and we're constantly looking at either the news or social media or this thing or that thing. We're constantly doing something on our little devices, right? And so, you know, that creates a lot of dysregulation in its own. And we're constantly, like I said, being like not conditioned. Well, yeah, I said conditioned already, but we're constantly just trying to get us to look outside, like react to outside, giving us so much information. Our We receive so much information on a daily that we used to receive probably in years and months. That's how much information our brain has to receive now. And the thing is, our brain cannot physically, like the conscious part of our brain, it cannot process this much information. And therefore, so much of it goes into the unconscious, and then there it sorts it out, and that's still so much information. And your unconscious mind is directly related to your nervous system, and the nervous system is the rest of your body, right? So if there's so much overwhelm happening in the unconscious, in the nervous system, within the body, and then the body reacts. The body says, hey, 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 too much, too much, too much, slow down, right? And that comes out as the overwhelm, as self-sabotage, as, you know, falling into even depression. We have all these symptoms that keep coming up on a very large scale in our collective, because we're just so overstimulated by all of this. And we then, we don't have the time to process the information, and we end up just reacting like to this whatever stimuli comes in, whatever the situation. We don't stop to process, to respond. We just constantly react, and we become irritable, and we become short with people around us and with ourselves, and all of these things start to show up as a way to show you, hey, you're just so overwhelmed. You need to slow down. You need to take it easy. And slow living, it looks like not doing as much, but it is so great for your nervous system, because in that slow living, again, you rewire. Over time, you rewire. So now you're not in this like dopamine rush, right? you connect to more, especially for us women, you connect more with that oxytocin, right? With that love, with that slowness. You are in a state of either rest and digest, right? Just being comfortable, just being in peace, in serenity. And that then progresses into a state of expansion. And when your nervous system is in a state of expansion, it is in a state of receptivity. And when you're in a state of receptivity, you are able to connect with higher energies, with higher vibrations, with downloads and intuitive hits much easier. And when you're able to receive those downloads and intuitive hits, that can absolutely totally transform your life, because once you get those intuitive hits and you can take those intuitive hits, those downloads of what to do, and you actually take the aligned action based on those downloads, well, now you can collapse timelines and jump higher, instead of when you're constantly wired and in a state of survival. Those messages won't come through because you're not stopping, slowing down enough to receive it. And then therefore you miss. It's like missed opportunity. And then you're constantly pushing upstream to take the aligned action, but it still becomes misaligned because you're not slowing down enough to take the intuitive hit. Anyways, that's part of why it is important to really slow down. To when you do that, right, then you're in that, like, those downloads, you creative projects, all of this comes through when you are in a state of relaxation, when you are in a state of receptivity. And for women, it's so super important to connect with that part of us, because once again, so much conditions have been put on us, all these ways of the way women should be as mothers, as wives, as just women in society. We're constantly being told that we're not doing anything, yet we're doing so much of the invisible work, and constantly not only invisible work, but then constantly having to emotionally regulate people around us. That takes a toll on you. If you don't take care of you, who's gonna take care of you, right? So for women, it's so important to take that and to really dismantle these beliefs about the way we should be. Who said that this is the way we should be? All of nature shows us the way is most optimal for us, is through this seasonal living, is through this slowing down, is through this connection. All of nature is showing us that. And nature literally creates everything around us. Goddess. And we, as an extension of Mother Nature, as Mother Goddess, Creatrix, we have to look at that instead of just, following what society has told us that we should be doing. Like, okay, that's one of the things. So it's so super important for your feminine energy, for receptivity, for creativity, for expansion, for joy. I think we have forgotten how to really feel joy, right? Because we're just constantly giving away life force energy. somewhere leaking it. So the way to begin this process of slow living, it really starts with your daily habits. So take a look at how you move about your life. Like I said, take inventory. Where you're at, how you're moving about, what is going on in your life. And then start with your daily habits. Take a look at that. How do you start your day? Do you sprint out of bed and rush to get ready and get that cup of coffee in and just continue through your day? Do. I have to do this and this. Is that the way you do it? Or do you take the time to connect with yourself, your intention for the day? How do you get dressed? Do you rush to put everything on? Do you eat your food super fast? One of the things that healed for me, actually, because when I was back in 2023, I was my health challenge that I was going through, and what was happening with me is digestive issues, right? And I realized that I'm either in like my thoughts, right, and emotions were really in a bad place, and then I sat down to eat, or like rushing through the meal because I didn't have the time. When I stopped doing that and I began consciously eating, like, really, I set the mood. I made everything, beautiful, used beautiful plates and cups and all of that. And I sat down with, like, before starting the food, I just kind of, and I was there consciously, slowly enjoying every bite and every sip. That rewired. Of course, it didn't happen in like 1 week, but consciously doing that every time, it rewired me. It rewired so much. And then the digestive issues, of course, the foods I was eating as well changed. But I mean, this is a very big part of it. How are you eating? What are you eating? I know so many, or at least see so many moms. I don't have the time to eat for myself, so I just eat some kind of a snack. And why? You matter. Give the love and attention and care to yourself first. Eat the nourishing food. Take the time to slowly eat that food. And I mean that I know many mothers are overwhelmed and overstimulated, and so much is happening. And I am saying it from a place where I've been there as well. And, my kids don't go to school. They're with me 24/7. And I have 2 boys. So they're rowdy. They're boys. They don't like to just sit down and color, right? They do MMA, so they literally fight each other. But I still find that time to connect with me, right? To slow down. And so, yeah, that kind of went on off. I went off on a tangent, but coming back to review. How are you eating? How are you moving about your day? How are you putting on your clothes? The words you use. How are you speaking? What's your internal dialogue? Are you being kind to yourself? Are you giving yourself compliments? Are you, when you are putting on your makeup, your glam, do you use glamour magic? Glamour magic is just in the way of looking in the mirror, right? Putting on that makeup and doing your hair and all the things. And you're in, once again, in a state of, oh, look how beautiful I look. Look how this, and look how these things matter. When you take the time to do that instead of just like, and I'm out. No, it takes maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes longer. But when you do it from a state of relaxation, of exhalation, it changes, it rewires. So look at, these are like practical things that you do in your everyday life. Do you take breaks? Do you allow yourself to relax? And I don't mean relax like with your phone in hand. I mean truly relax. So many women have a problem with relaxing. And let me tell you, once again, firsthand, I have the same problem. And I realized, I've seen it before, but right now, again, working on it more and more consciously. That I sit down and I relax and I don't think about all the things that I need to do. Because the list is never ending. If you're a mother, if you're a wife, if you are working, if you are in this society, there's always something to do. Always. So, taking the time to just relax without having to think about the next thing that you have to do on your list. Because that keeps you looping, right, in like your thoughts. And again, it's sending signals to the nervous system, and you're not really truly relaxing, even if you are relaxing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So learning now to relax without guilt. Learning to just be. Right? And one of my favorite things that I've heard is that you're a human being, not a human doing. So take the time to just be, especially as a woman. Take the time to be. So looking at all the little things like that. And of course, implement things that relax you even more. Whether it's when you feel the tension, becoming aware. So set the intention to become aware. Set the intention to be more present in your life. Because once you are more present and you're in, we're always in the now, but if you are present, if you are aware that you are here right now in this moment, right? You can then respond to the outside, right? You're more connected internally to your inner guidance, to your intuition, to your body, to the messages that the body is sending you, and you're able to respond, not just unconsciously react. So those are some of the things that you can do. Of course, if you're having really big problems of not able to slow down, you're still feeling wired and in survival and constantly waiting for the next blow, when is the shoe gonna hit, when is the bear finally gonna catch up and get me, right? When we're in survival, we're constantly in that state of gotta survive, something bad is gonna happen, and you can't seem to get out of it. There might be some really like internal blockages, right, that are connected to some maybe limiting beliefs that are not letting you get to that place. In that space, of course, I would suggest things like quantum healing, energy work, maybe, I don't know, Reiki, whatever kind of energy work that you would do to attune that, to really look at that in the energetic field. Then you can do works like do work like somatic work, NLP kind of work, that you can get to that place where you can really truly unravel of what is standing behind all of that, right? But in the first place, look at these things and see how it changes. For daily practice, do your breath work. Take, I'm sure there's videos on the internet as well where you can look at, or come and do one of my quantum breath sessions, right? Doing a simple 5 to 10 minute breath work can really regulate you, bring you into safety, bring you into this state of relaxation, and from there move on through your day being in this state, staying in this safety, and noticing how things around you shift, consciously slowing down. So next time you wake up, instead of sprinting out of bed, take the time. Maybe take your journal something if that feels good. Maybe just move your body, right? Maybe just breathe, and slowly, without the need to rush to the next thing, because oh my God, I am not able to complete a gajillion different little things on my to-do list, and if I don't complete them, I am not good enough. No. Start working with things like that. Like, no, that's not. Or everything is going to collapse. One of the biggest things for us mothers, everything is just going to collapse. They're not going to know what to... Okay, so, and I am saying this as something that I just personally went through. I was, right before I got sick, I was like, this, and I'm constantly doing all the things, and they don't... Okay. And then, I couldn't get out of bed. I had to. I was forced to slow down and hey, take a look at what's going on. And then I slowed down. And then I let everything collapse. And guess what? It's okay. It collapsed for some time. The house looked like a mess. We survived, right? So things like that, like, allow it to happen. We're in the season of, and everything is a season, and life goes. We ebb and flow. So let it collapse and then come back up, and then allow all of it to come, to move through its own rhythm, through its own flow. When you allow that, you send out the signal to receive more. So start doing that. Allow yourself to consciously slow down, and it's okay. Start to dismantle these beliefs and really slow it down, and allow yourself that relaxation, that joy. And of course, do things that bring you joy. In that slow living, we're throwing away the things that we, coulda, shoulda, woulda from our list, and instead focusing on what brings us inner peace, joy, pleasure. Once again, connecting to these states of being, to these emotions, and being present, really. So when you slow down, when you begin to rewire, right, rewire all of these things when you're just really truly there, savoring every sip of coffee, every bite, taking the time to just slowly put on your clothes, taking the time to lounge, whether it's on the weekend or if you're a stay-at-home mom, during the day. Put on the outfit that makes you feel like a queen or a princess or a priestess. Whatever the thing is, do that. And then begin to notice how it all shifts, how it all changes, how it is bringing more of your life force energy back and stabilizing you. And so I really hope you enjoyed another one of my episodes where I just get to sit here and tell you it's like a transmission coming in and it just pours out of me, however it does. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you are practicing the art of really slowing down, of savoring life and all that life has to offer, or are you still kind of in this overwhelm, this collective overwhelm, or if you're looking forward to changing and transforming all of that. Let me know where you are right now and what you're doing and how that is going for you. And before we wrap this up, I kind of since we're nearing the end of this year, this crazy collective year that we've had, collectively that we've had, chaotic, crazy. Of course, having, the year of the snake and numerologically number 9, so much has happened collectively and I'm sure individually for all of us, and good and bad. And so I just kind of want to acknowledge this year and really the year that I began this podcast, and it's been only a few months, and how I am so looking forward to next year and bringing you more episodes, deeper transmissions, of course, doing the inner work on myself in order to bring you more clarity, like I said, deeper transmissions and downloads, and I guess more of maybe personal journey, as well as I have an amazing lineup of, once again, very powerful, awesome, amazing women that are going to be showing up in this space. And so I am so excited about that coming up. And yeah, I look forward to just expanding more and more with each episode. So that's what we have coming for 2026. Gosh, just saying that is like, whoa, seriously, we're at 2026. But yeah, so exciting, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, something to look forward to. And once again, like, comment, subscribe, and I am looking forward to connecting with you later on once again. Bye bye.